Yes-ish, in a way, yes-ish. I mean, the move had to be done, and the new stadium is fantastic. As is, I might go to Spurs occasionally or to Arsenal. Their stadiums are fantastic as well. But I think the old stadiums did have that little bit of something extra, that sort of bit of it, that intensity. I love Main Road. I mean, even though it wasn't in the greatest state, I really loved going there. The atmosphere, when you had nearly 40,000, 38,000 people there, was absolutely tremendous on occasions. And I don't think the Etihad or some of the other new stadiums, however great they are, quite match that. That's why I rather think it's rather good that Old Trafford and Anfield, are still in their sort of bigger but original states.
Yeah,
Because I think those old stadiums have got something about them.
yeah.
But having said that, the move, it had to happen. It was completely the right thing for the club, and without it, the club would not be where it is now.
Was there any thought to all the history and connection the club would be leaving behind in
Oh
leaving?
yeah, a lot of thoughts. Oh, no, absolutely. Croms for me in particular. I mean, I've been a fan for decades, and Main Road is my sort of spiritual home. So absolutely, I used to be so excited to go to Main Road, and I just loved it. But yeah, it's progress, and
Yeah.
progress often has some sad and difficult attributes to it. But they are. But we have to move on.
What have you made of the city's owners? How they've made the Etihad the club's home and linking it with the past?
I think they've done a very good job. It's not easy, but I mean, you can't criticise the investment, the quality, I mean, this club has come from nowhere to be the treble winners and world champions. If they win the league this year, they'll be the first time ever an English club's won the top level 4 times in a row. And if they win the Champions League this year, it'll be the first time an English club's won it twice in a row. This is potentially the greatest English club of all time. So you can't criticise the owners really in any way at all. And I think they've worked hard. I mean, it's very difficult to maintain the same relationship with the fans as you did in those earlier. I mean, City is now an international institution, as well as being a great Manchester football club. And I think to maintain that rapport with the fans, that intimacy, when I was there, you could put your arms around the club. You can understand it. Even the figures, you're talking about the monetary figures, were understandable. £100,000 was a lot of money
Yeah,
to us. Half a
yeah.
million pounds was a great deal of money. Now you're talking, in these tens of millions for players' contracts and so on. It's really, in reality, way out of the scope of thinking of most people, really including myself.
Has has the Manchester City of your time in charge now fulfilled its potential, or do you think are there still
Fulfilled
room
its
to move?
potential. I think it's gone beyond. Listen, when I was there, the city went a really bad way when I got there. I used to say my ambition is that Manchester becomes the Madrid of the north of England, with two great football clubs in it, and that was what I was really aiming for. Little did I think that Manchester City would leave Man United trailing as they have done. So to say have they fulfilled their potential? I think they've exceeded it, but they've done more than anybody could have possibly envisaged. I mean, who 20 years ago, 50, could have seen City as the absolute outstanding club in this country, ahead of Arsenal and Spurs and Chelsea and Liverpool and Man United and everybody else? You couldn't have imagined it.
Well, do you buy into the criticism often vented about Manchester City? Oh, they've got tons of money. It's a state-run business. They're just buying themselves the way to their success.
Well, if they're the only club doing that, then I might do. But you've got clubs that were owned by Russians pouring in loads of money. You've got American holders pouring in loads of money. You've got Newcastle now controlled by Saudi Arabian interests and so on. So really, if you're going to compete at the top level of English football, I say unfortunately because I think it is unfortunate. You need that sort of backing. I can't criticise City particularly. I think they've just done what they've done better than anybody else. But most of the big clubs now, and a lot of the not so big clubs, have got very, very wealthy owners. To be a millionaire now is not enough to own a Premier League football club, that's for sure.